curious thing about Boston Common is the fact that since the 1600s, it's always been a piece of land dedicated to the common man, the member of the public. And today, they put on an event, the Japanese festival. Didn't know it was on, so it's a bit of a treat. Behind me is an old public lavatory, believe it or not. It's now owned by the Earl of Sandwich. Now apparently, if I read my research correctly, it cost $1 million to transform that from an old decrepit public toilet to a sandwich bar. Bar down by Fenway Park. Now currently there's a game on, so I can't film, or I shouldn't be filming, should I say, and definitely shouldn't be filming the actual game itself. So it's lunch with me, and then back on the road. Coffee and a croissant this morning then. There's so much choice here, it's unbelievable in relation to food. Well, I'm currently sat at the Lee Boston Long Wharf, right at the edge of Boston now. This is where all the boats and the like come in, the Boston Harbour cruises, which are behind me. Now this wharf didn't actually exist in its current form many years ago, especially when Boston was first formed. And the tower with the clock that you might be able to see behind me is where the shoreline actually ended. And it's a feat of engineering for the Bostonians that from the 1600s, from just a small piece of land, they've been able to expand out to where we are now at the end of the Long Wharf, and also all the way into Boston and out the back bay. And the weather's absolutely glorious. And I always like to come here every time I come to Boston because the Long Wharf is quite peaceful. When the sun's out, it's absolutely glorious, and you can get some really good photographs here at any time of the day. Early mornings is always good. Sunsets are epic, and the nighttime views are something to behold as well. And I might put some of the historical photographs and whatnot on the video if I get an opportunity. If not, well, you're just going to have to use your imagination. But when the weather's good, when the sun's out, this is a glorious place to be, just to take in the rays. I said earlier on in the video that the weather can be quite changeable at this time of year, the April time of year, and sometimes it can be quite bitter. But either way, it's still a great place to be, and I urge you, if you haven't come here before, to put it on your list of places to come and see. Now, over the 10 or so years that I've been wandering around this place, I've done the majority of it by foot and underground. Earlier on I did a little bit by bicycle, but I've never done it by motorised two wheels. So I think I'm going to give that a go. That was probably one of the best things that I've done since I've been in Boston. The Boston Segway tours, who knew? Weather's absolutely superb, and the tour guide Ariel, he took me on a route that I've never done before, and I've seen parts of the city from a different perspective, so it's a great thumbs up to him for that. If you've got an hour, it's definitely something that I'd recommend. $60 it cost me for that hour, and it's definitely worth the money. And if you've got a bit extra, you can do a 2-hour tour, and I'll probably do that the next time I come, to be fair. But yeah, I'm going to go from touring Boston on 2 wheels to multiple wheels and on the water. I promised a duck tour from last year, and I didn't get around to doing it because it was fully booked. So it's now going to be from Segway to duck tour. Well, the weather's not going to be too great today. Apparently it's going to rain all day, but it doesn't really matter because it's my last day here, last few hours in Boston, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my trip thus far, as I always do every time I come here. And you'd think after 10 years of coming here that I get tired of the place, but I never do. There's always something new to do. And I've said it many, many times before, the mark of a place is being able to find new things to do. And I suppose the moral of this story is it doesn't really matter how many times you go to a place. If you can find something new, find a new experience to experience, then it makes the trip all worthwhile. I absolutely love this place, as I'm sure you're getting to understand. And this year was all about doing some new, obscure stuff. And I think I've done some of that, and I've achieved some of it. And if you've got some enjoyment out of that, then again, all good. If not, doesn't really matter. Because as I said before, this is all about recording my experience and enjoying my time. I suppose some of the highlights of my trip have been the duck tour, piloting that boat, if only for a couple of minutes. The Segway tour around Boston, who knew? What a great experience that was. And I think doing some more of that obscure stuff has really painted a different picture of Boston for me. And I've been able to see aspects of the city that I've never seen before. So in many respects, it's a big thumbs up for this time round. I'm currently walking around the Gillette Stadium, and that's the home of the New England Patriots, Super Bowl champions, American football legends. Now, unfortunately, you can't get into the actual grounds itself. There are no tours, and they don't do tours, so I'm told, which is quite strange considering how famous they actually are. But again, it's something I've always wanted to do. I never got round to it in the 10 years or so that I've been running around Boston. So here I am. As I say, I can't actually film inside the ground, so I've done my best to have a bit of a film around the outside, so you can get a glimpse of what this place is actually all about. But my holiday's coming to an end, so I'm going to put the camera away and enjoy the last few hours. Reminisce over some of the highlights of my trip this time round, and then walk off into the sunset.